A year ago, this was me. 1 year ago. Standing in front of a mobile golf simulator, scratching my head, wondering had I made a really dumb idea. I thought this was going to be really easy. I thought everybody was just going to get it. But in reality, I was focused on all the wrong things. I was focused on the system, transport, event structure. Fast forward to today, and same business, same equipment, but a completely different mindset and outcome. And what surprised me the most wasn't about how much money this business made, it was how we got there, how we got to a point where we were making money easy. And what else surprised me was the mistakes we had to make in order to get here. So by the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly what we did wrong and what we've done to fix it. The reason I thought this could work was because golf simulators are just absolutely exploding. They're everywhere. You see a golf simulator business on every corner. They're in every city. Basically, if you Google it, there's one 5 miles away from you. And there was even a golf league created, a professional golf league called the Tiger Golf League. And what Tiger Woods did was he took golf simulators and he brought them into the actual culture of golf, which made them explode even more. Now you're seeing all different types of golf simulator businesses. So my thinking was pretty simple. If people are willing to travel to golf facilities to play inside during inclement weather or specific parts of the season, then why wouldn't they want that to be brought to them? What if I could turn any space into a legit golf experience without a full build-out? Something quick, easy, simple. I did a ton of research. I realized there was nobody doing this. And we figured if we could get this set up in 30 minutes and take down in 30 minutes, then we have a real business here. On paper, see, this is a no-brainer. But what happened next is what really surprised us. At first, it looked like this was working. We spent a lot of time creating content, building really cool and interesting videos, and sending that off to restaurants and breweries in our area. And we got a lot of really positive feedback right from the rip, right off the first tee. Bar managers were excited, owners were curious, and mostly no one had ever heard of this before. They were kind of like mind blown that this existed. So they said, yeah, let's try it, right? Let's give it a shot. And I started building out event structures, very thought through formats, which included flow of play, pricing models for the restaurant owners, how the players would rotate through their turns, how many swings they would each get, how long each turn should take, timed turns. Like, this was really detailed information that I was sending off to these bar managers. On paper, big check mark. It looked awesome. But once we started doing events, we realized something. It was really hard to execute these plans. There was a lot of coordination, a lot of explaining, blah, 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 and a lot of like handrail guiding people through the process. And doing all of this while trying to run a smooth event was really difficult. I am making a mess. And it also made selling this thing a little bit harder. There were a lot of questions, a lot of back and forth on how this would work, how that would work. So this was just complicating everything. We were charging players directly. We were charging the bar managers. We were charging everyone. You get charged. Everybody was getting charged, and we had to handle all the money and then distribute it. And this was a lot of work for the pre-event. This was a lot of setup, a lot of website work, a lot of product creation on our Shopify. We were pitching a system now, not just a really fun experience. And we were getting really overwhelmed. We were thinking, holy moly, we made a mistake here. This is hard. And that's when we realized maybe we're just running it the wrong way. The moment this clicked for me was actually a funny story. Basically, we were running an event. I was constantly stepping in and trying to provide guidelines and trying to re-explain how this worked and that worked and explain the point system. And I was just basically butting into their event over and over again. Long story short, one of the bigger guys there stepped up in front of everyone and said, hey man, why don't you loosen one of those buttons on your collar? What he said might have been rude, it might have been uncalled for, but what he was really saying was, hey man, relax, just chill, let us do our thing. And that's when it all clicked. They weren't there for the perfect structure. They weren't there for the rules I was putting in place. And they weren't there for the system. They showed up to one of their favorite bars because a golf simulator was going to be there. And they were there to have fun. So we started asking a completely different question. What if this didn't need all of the system and the rules and the regulations? So we didn't blow the whole thing up. And this is the golf bay, and this is the explosion balls going everywhere. We started stripping things away. We completely dumbed down the events themselves. If people just want to come up, swing, have fun, and see how they compete with their friends, then let's just do the same thing for 1 hour straight. People can come up and play for free, and then we change through the events, like closest to the pin, longest drive. Maybe we do a darts competition for 1 hour straight. That's how we decided to change the event structure up. And the difference was night and day. People got involved faster. There was no real explaining needed. It created better energy, less confusion, and more fun. Instead of running an event and controlling the event, we got to be a part of it. We got to actually laugh and joke around with the contestants. We weren't just there making sure everyone followed the rules with our tight buttons. We got to loosen our buttons a little bit. And once we stopped trying to control everything is when everything started to feel easier and it started to work better. And honestly, I'm glad 1 year ago we overcomplicated everything, because today we know that we can still overcomplicate it if we need to. But we know we don't have to, at least not every time, and at least not right now. Because now we know when to use structure and when to just get out of the way. That's the difference between a year ago and today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't be afraid to check out some of our other videos to get more information on what it's like to have one of these businesses. That's the end of the video. We'll see you on the next one.